Hello everyone, and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. This is Keith, and tonight I am returning to my campaign series entitled Alone in the Shadows of Brimstone. If you missed episode 1 of this 6th season, I'll leave a link in the description. That video will provide you with the background for the coming season. In addition, I'll leave a link where you can download a copy of my campaign rules and player aids that I'll be using during this playthrough. In this video, I'll be introducing the heroes and their starting stats and equipment, and we'll look at their individual campaign goals. Next, I'll go over the rules that will be active for this season. Then we'll take a look at the campaign map and look at the rumors circling around the region. In addition, we'll look at a special mission which I've prepared to start the season. Once we get this preliminary information out of the way, we're going to begin the campaign in this video. I will provide chapter breaks in case you wish to jump to a specific part of the video. So, without further ado, let's get started. Our first hero is Sister Juniper Hale. Age 30, she was born in Morgantown, West Virginia. She is resourceful, and she's going to gain a free success on her starting cash roll. In addition, she has the keyword merchant, which gave her a +1 to cunning. She's going to begin with $125 in cash and a bandage in her side bag. Her starting equipment includes a holy book, giving her +1 to faith and +1 to combat, raising her combat level to 3, which is great. Her starting upgrade is Firebrand, which allows her to reroll 1 die when performing a judgment sermon. Now, those judgment sermons we have to be very careful with. If it ends up that we end up rolling doubles when we're doing our sermon test, that thing can backfire. So the ability to re-roll one of those dice is very powerful. She's going to begin with the blessings Faith, Healing, and Cure, along with the Judgment, Ruin. She's riding an Arabian named Diamond. However, the horse is weak, and that's going to require her to re-roll 1 6 result during all overland strength tests. Her campaign goal is Altruist, which is dedicated to protecting the innocent and defeating evil wherever she finds it, and to survive the campaign. She has no specific goal. And as I have not purchased the alternate gender models for the game, I'm going to be using Sister Ophelia's model from Last Night on Earth. So this will be the model we're using for Sister Hale. Her personal item is a broken arrowhead. That's going to give her +1 to luck, and that bumped her luck up to 3. And that allows her to heal 2 wounds or sanity, any mix, whenever a large size or bigger enemy is placed on the board. So that could come in quite handy. Now you'll notice that Sister Hale has 12 health and 10 sanity. Now her defense is a 5+. That could be a potential problem for her, so we're going to have to make good use of her faith healing and cure blessings. She does have a 3+ willpower, which would be great in preventing sanity loss. Next up is the gunslinger Silas Barrow. He's age 41, and he was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Silas also has the keyword resourceful, gaining him a free success on his starting cash roll. In addition, he has the keyword merchant, which gave him +1 to cunning. He's going to begin the game with $150 in cash and a bandage in his side bag. His starting equipment includes a pistol. That's going to give him a range of 6 with 2 shots. His starting item is a very useful silver harmonica. That's going to give him Spirit Armor 6+, which is great. It gives you some chance to kind of defend against that sanity damage. Armor is extremely important, and if we can gain armor in the game, that is going to help us quite a bit. The silver harmonica also gives him +2 to sanity, and that is going to move his sanity level up to 14. Now once again, Silas has a health of 10, but a defense of 5+. That could be a problem. He's very good with ranged weapons. He has a 3+ for ranged, only a 5+ for melee. He does have only 1 combat, so he doesn't do too well in hand-to-hand or melee type of issues. We'll have to use him with his ranged ability. He's going to begin with the gunslinger template, and he'll have 6 rounds of Deadeye shot at the start of each of the missions. He has our highest initiative at 6, and he's going to be carrying the lantern. His starting upgrade is pistol fanning, and that's once per turn. He can spend a grit to double the number of shots he's going to get with a single-handed gun for 1 attack. So that would give him potentially, with his starting pistol, he could get 4 shots. That would be awesome. He's riding a Rocky Mountain horse named Matador, which is going to allow him to re-roll 1 die on an overland cunning test. That horse has the aware trait. That could be quite useful for us. His campaign goal is glory. He wants to accumulate 5,000 XP and $7,500 in cash and retire to write his memoirs. And finally, we have the wandering samurai, Hana Okabe. She's 24 years old, and she was born in Kobe, Japan. She has the keyword resilient, which gave her a +1 to her health, raising her health up to 11. She also has the keyword stockman, which gives her a reroll on all mount injury rolls and a reroll when determining a mount's horse traits. She begins the game with $125 in cash and a fire sake in her side bag. Her starting equipment includes a Wanderer's Katana, increasing her maximum fury to 7 and allowing her to spend 3 fury to add D3 damage to 1 combat hit. Her starting item is a hand mirror, which gave her +4 to sanity, which was great. Moves her sanity up to 14. She's also a sword master, and that allows her a rapid strike, giving her an additional attack roll if she kills an enemy with a combat hit with a blade. She has the battle tactics Dancing Dragon and Rejuvenate, and those could be quite useful for her. The Dancing Dragon allows her to spend fury up to her level in the use of that battle tactic. She can target an enemy model up to 2 spaces away and move to share their space, placing a spent fury token on that enemy. Then she would make an agility 5+ test. If passed, she can keep repeating the procedure. And then each of the targets that have fury tokens on them are going to take wounds equal to the total number of fury tokens placed, ignoring defense. So that could be quite useful for her. She also has the battle tactic Rejuvenate. Allows her to spend 2 fury to remove a status effect marker, such as poison, burning, etc. Or she can spend 4 fury to remove a corruption point. This may be used at any time and multiple times per turn, as long as she has the fury points. She's going to be riding an Appaloosa, and she's named it Kensei, which means Sword Saint. It has no traits or effects. Her campaign goal is Adventurer, and she needs to complete 2 epic quests and retire knowing that she made the world a safer place. Now we'll shift on to the rules that I'll be using for the game. For this game, all the standard rules for Alone in the Shadows of Brimstone will be in place. In addition, I've decided to add 5 question mark tokens to the Rumor Cup, and we're going to add in that Legendary's locations module that I outlined in the previous video. We'll add that into the campaign. In addition, I've decided to return to individual tracking of XP and gold during explorations. This will make it more difficult to keep track of, but I think it's better for the campaign. To help me in this, I've set up 3 containers with the player characters' names on them, and we're going to dump in their XP and gold that they earn during missions, and I can just toss those into those cups, and that should make it a lot easier. It is difficult to do that while you're filming. I did try this where we did a community pool of XP and gold, and then it was divided equally at the end of the mission, but I'm going to go back with the original rules as written, where their XP will be their XP and their gold will be their gold. Now I've randomly determined we're going to be starting our campaign in the rail town of Stone's Crossing. The town includes a saloon, street market, gambling hall, and a mutant quarter. It's a small town and it has no specific traits. Switching to our campaign map, we're going to be starting in the southwesterly quarter of the county at Stone's Crossing. That is our posse marker in that location. You'll notice that these different locations have different colored rings around them. The green rings represent rail towns, the blue represent ports, and the purple represent forts. The other ones are black, and that means that they are general towns that could have a specialty. All of those would be rolled for randomly. The square locations are adventure locations, and that's where missions will appear as we proceed through the campaign. At the start of the game, we have 2 basic missions that have appeared. Those appear at the 2 closest adventure locations to our starting location. At the Shoal Party Massacre site, we have the basic mission, Search Party. And then at Clayton Ravine, we have the basic mission, Exploration. Now, as I normally do, I've prepared a special mission for the start of this campaign. And this one is entitled, The Well. So let's go to the narrator and have him give you the background of that special quest, The Well.
Stone's Crossing, February 3rd, 1885. The Hale gang had only just formed the night before, Sister Hale's sermon still echoing in the minds of the townsfolk, when Sheriff Virgil Ashford summoned them to his office. I can still see him, a man hollowed by fear, his voice cracking as he spoke of the old stone well at the edge of town. For decades, it had been nothing but a relic from days gone by. Sagging timbers and a dry throat of stone. Children dared each other to peer into its depths, but all they ever saw was dust. That changed when Elias Smith vanished. His hat was found near the well, and nothing more. Then, the disappearances started to multiply. It began with 2 missing miners, and then a preacher's niece went missing. Afterward, nearby ranchers reported livestock torn apart in the night, all within sight of the old well. Sheriff Ashford ordered the well to be boarded up, but each dawn the boards lay splintered, as though something inside refused to be caged. I remember Deputy Caleb Boone, broad-shouldered, eager, too proud to show fear. He volunteered to go down. I watched as the rope creaked, lowering him into the shaft, lantern swaying. His voice rose from below, tight and strained. "Something's moving down here." Then came the shriek, inhuman, piercing. His scream still haunts me. Gunshots echoed from below, but then silence. When they pulled the rope back, it was frayed and slick with a foul substance mixed with blood. Boom was gone. That night, the town kept watch. Ranchers, miners, even a weary preacher clutching his Bible. I remember the lanterns flickering, prayers muttered under breath, rifles trembling in tired hands. Hours passed, then the scratching began. The boards shuddered, dust rising. A shot rang out, but silence followed. Heavy, suffocating silence. Then the boards split asunder. Pale limbs, jointed and wrong, spilled out from the mouth of the well. Void spiders poured forth, eyes glowing like embers. I saw a miner drag screaming into the dark. I saw the preacher raise his Bible, only to be struck down by a hellbat, its stinger piercing his chest. By dawn, the watch was broken. 2 men gone, 1 dead, and the well stood open, its boards scattered like matchsticks. That morning, Stone's Crossing changed forever. The Hale gang was summoned, and the town's fate hung on their courage.
So that was our introduction for our special mission. Now, for the sake of new viewers to this channel and to Alone in the Shadows of Brimstone, we're not required to undertake any mission. This system was designed as a sandbox system, and theoretically, we could play this game by never going into the mines. We could attempt to achieve our campaign goals by just moving on the campaign map and getting into gunfights and experiencing brimstone on the surface. But from a practical standpoint, we're going to need to go into the mines to generate sufficient XP. Now, some of the prerequisites for this special mission, the well, we have to decide if we're going to undertake this immediately. If we decide to undertake this mission, we're going to be placing quest token B at Stone's Crossing. That's in the location that we're in right now. And then during the town stay, each hero can make a Cunning 5+ test at any location that they visit. If they can gain 3 or more successes as a group, they piece together the mystery of what's happened to the town. A recent landslide covered the entrance to a cave on the outskirts of town. The beasts are now trapped inside, and they've tunneled into the old well to use it as an exit. During the setup, if the posse pieces together the mystery, they're going to dig out the entrance to the cave and start the mission at a standard map tile entrance. If not, they must enter through the well and begin the mission at a capped long passage. They may not scavenge until they find their first room. The mission goal is the heroes must destroy the foul beasts living beneath Stone's Crossing. Special rules include the beasts. For this mission, whenever a threat is to be drawn, we're going to roll a d6 and use the table below. As we have a 3-hero posse, we'll be using medium threats, and we're going to start out with 1 revive token. Our objectives are to gain 2 clues while we're in the mines. The first clue. When the heroes find the first clue icon, they discover a small darkstone deposit. After resolving any encounters or enemies, each hero can make a Luck 5+ test and gain 1 darkstone shard for each success. In addition, they uncover that this cave system has been enlarged by the beasts, and it lies directly beneath the town. When they find the second clue, they find the chamber containing the beasts. The chamber does not contain any doors. We're going to resolve a high threat in that location, and if we can defeat the enemies, we'll save the town and complete the mission. Our rewards: each hero is going to gain 50 XP, D6 times $100, and the posse will gain a mine artifact from the town as a sign of their gratitude. However, if we fail, the beasts burst from the well and overrun the town of Stone's Crossing. We're going to roll a d6 for each building, and on a result of 1 to 4, the building will be destroyed, but could be rebuilt in the future. In addition, each hero is going to take D3 corruption and must roll on the madness table due to the vast human carnage they find in the streets. So, our first decision is, are we going to undertake this special mission, the well, or are we going to ride out of town? Those are our choices. If we choose to undertake this mission, we are going to undertake it at the end of our town stay after the first day. We'll immediately head either into the well, or if we're able to solve the mysteries regarding this, we'll start at a standard map tile entrance. And I think we're going to try to help out the people of Stone's Crossing. That would be consistent with our mission goals. And we're going to start next now with the town stay in the rail town of Stone's Crossing. Stone's Crossing is the southernmost rail town in the county, and it is home to the master of the forge, the famous blacksmith, Leo Blake. Leo has mastered the melting, refining, and forging many weapons and items imbued with darkstone, and his creations are highly sought after by people all over the region. And Leo Blake is a town NPC. And we'll take a look at his NPC card. Alright, so we have decided to undertake the special mission, the well. We're instructed to place the special mission marker B at Stone's Crossing, so we'll do that. And we're going to begin the campaign in the rail town of Stone's Crossing. Now, per the mission prerequisites, we're going to be able to take one town stay in Stone's Crossing, and then we will have to start the mission. As this is a rail town, we have some special conditions regarding the rail town. We have fresh supplies. At the start of each day in town, each hero may draw a gear card that is a special deal they find offered by street vendors. This card may be purchased by that hero for its listed value plus $100. Treat no value as 0. If not purchased, discard the gear card. Then we have Hustle and Bustle. We're going to be drawing 2 daily event cards per day rather than just 1 for each day in the town stay. And then finally we have Rail Travel, and we're able to take, if we choose to exercise that, we can use the Rail Travel to any other rail town on the map for $40. And that absolves us from having to conduct overland movement. We'll begin by exercising our fresh supplies option at the rail town. Each hero is going to draw a gear card, and that'll be their special card for the day that they can possibly purchase. So we'll draw a gear card for each of our heroes. All right, our special deals include Sister Hale. We have exotic herbs. Gain 1 exotic herbs token, discard this card. It has 0 value, so we would be able to purchase that for $100. Hunting rifle would be $350 plus 100, and that's for our gunslinger, Silas Barrow. And then finally the gunpowder keg for our wandering samurai, Hana Okabe. Our first step during a town stay is to resolve our daily events now. Because this is a hustle and bustle town, we'll be resolving 2 of them. And here's our first one. And this one is Runaway Cart. And the runaway cart reads, hearing a scream from across the street, You look to see the driver of a loaded cart explode into a fleshy mass of tentacles and bone spikes. Leaping from the cart, the beast is gunned down. Spooked, the horses bolt, taking the cart with them as they plow through the street towards the nearby ravine. All heroes may make an agility 6+ test. For each 6+ rolled, you may gain 1 bandage, whiskey, or tonic side bag token pulled from the cart before it goes over the edge. All right, we'll begin with the agility test for Sister Juniper Hale. Unfortunately, she only has an agility of 1, so we'll see if she can pass this. She needs a 6. Rolls a 1, that is a failure. We'll move on to our gunslinger, Silas Barrow. He has an agility of 3. So we get 3 dice for the test. And he has no successes as well. Finally, we have our wandering samurai, Hana Okabe. She also has an agility of 3. And she has no successes. She had a 5 but not a 6, so we get nothing for that, unfortunately. Our second daily event is Tainted by Darkness. Sometimes it's hard to tell what kind of effect the darkness has on people. The closer you get to evil, the closer it gets to you. All advanced allies currently in the posse, or that are purchased during this town stay, immediately take D3 corruption hits. All right, well, we have no allies at this point, so we will keep the card on the stand for the moment. That will end step 1, to draw daily events. We'll move on to selecting our lodging. And I think each of them is going to stay at the hotel, so we'll book rooms at the hotel, and that'll cost each of them $10 a piece. All right, step 3, we can visit town locations. And this is where we can interact with the town. Now, as a part of the Well special mission, while we're visiting these locations, we can test cunning. And depending upon the number of cunning successes the group gets as a whole during this portion of the town stay, that will directly affect the amount of information that we have prior to starting the mission. All right, we're going to begin with Sister Hale. Now, she has this option of this special offer from a street vendor, and that's exotic herbs. Exotic herbs will allow us to remove D3 corruption points, but I think in this case, she's probably going to be more interested in getting some bandages. So I think I'm going to have her go to the Mutant Quarter. So we'll send her over to the Mutant Quarter. Next will be Silas Barrow, and I think he is going to head to the gambling hall, and he'll be able to purchase some fine cigars there. And finally, our wandering samurai, Hana Okabe. She's going to travel to the street market, and I think she's going to be interested in maybe picking up a Far Eastern potion. And that Far East potion allows her to discard it to add 2 to one of her skills until the end of the turn. So now we're going to perform our location event rolls for each of the characters. And we'll begin by rolling for Silas Barrow at the gambling hall. Here is the roll. He rolls a 7, and that says laughter, cheers, and sadness. Smoke fills the air, and the cheering thrill of winners roars through the hall, while the empty despair of the drunken down on their luck lingers in the shadows. No event. All right, so Silas is at the gambling hall. And I think Silas is going to pick up 3 fine cigars and a bottle of whiskey. It's going to cost him $75 for the cigars and $50 for the whiskey, and he'll pay $125 for that transaction. And those purchases are going to fill up his side bag. He's got a bandage, 3 cigars, and a whiskey. So he's completed his actions at the gambling hall. He's going to do a little research, though, and see if he can find out about the mystery behind the activity by this well. All right, so Silas is going to do a little investigating, see if he can figure out what is happening around the town that is causing this problem with the well. So he'll be talking to people in the gambling hall and kind of moving around the town and looking for clues. He has a cunning value of 4, so we need to get 5s or better. The more of those, the better for us. And he has 1 success, so he is able to get 1 clue. And I'm going to chart the number of successes that they have with these journal pages tokens, and we'll give them 1 of those. We can get 2 more of those. That'll help us out in this next mission. All right, so Silas is done with his visit and investigation, and he's going to return back to the hotel. Next up will be Hana Okabe at the street market. All right, she's going to begin with her location event roll. The result is a 9, and that is market prices down. The winds are favorable today for good bartering in the market. Everyone is ready to make a deal. All prices at the street market are minus $50 less than normal. Minimum 25. That is a great deal. Excellent. And that's going to lower the price on her Far Eastern potions that she's interested in. So we'll be able to get those for $25 a piece. And I think she's going to purchase 4 of those for $100. To fill up her side bag, she has a fire sake and now 4 of these Far Eastern potions. All right, that's about all she's going to do at the street market. She's going to do her investigation now. She has a cunning of 3, so we'll be able to roll 3 dice for the test. And she has 2 successes. How about that? She's got 2 successes, and that's going to give her 2 journal page markers, and that's all we really need. We now understand the mystery of what's happening. We've pieced it together, and that landslide at the cave entrance outside the town has buried these creatures, and they've tunneled into the old abandoned well, and they're using that as their exit point. All right. Well, with that done, Hana is going to return to the hotel. And finally, we have Sister Juniper Hale. She is at the mutant quarter. And she'll begin with her location event roll. She rolls a 9, and that's party in the streets. Celebration and music spill into the streets from a local festival in the quarter. Every hero here may immediately make a luck 4+ test to join the festivities. For each 4+ rolled, heal D6 health, sanity, any mix. Also, if at least 1 6 was rolled, gain 1 sanity. Limit once per town stay. That is great. Well, we'll give it a try. She doesn't have any damage on her currently. Might be able to get an improvement to sanity, though. All right, Sister Hale has a luck value of 3. So she'll make 3 dice. Roll and see if she can get a 6 to improve her sanity. Permanent improvement. Here is the roll. We're looking for 4+, but we really want a 6. She's done it. She's actually got 3 successes, but the big one is the 6, and that's going to give her a permanent boost to sanity, moving her up from 10 to 11. That is awesome. All right, I've marked her with 11 sanity now. And even though we have enough of the journal pages to solve the mystery, I'm just going to see how many Sister Hale could have found. We'll give her a cunning test. She has a cunning of 3. We'll see how many 5+ she could get. She rolled no successes, so we have just enough of the journal pages to solve the mystery. So we're going to exchange those, and we'll read on and see about the mystery of Stone's Crossing. And that says, If we can gain 3 or more successes as a group, we piece together the mystery of what's happening in the town. A recent landslide covered the entrance to a cave on the outskirts of town. The beasts, now trapped inside, have tunneled into the old well and are using it as an exit. All right. All right, we've completed our town visits for the day. Now we're going to make a draw from our rumor cup and see what happens. And here is our rumor cup draw. And we've gotten a Caverns of Cinder mission. Hunt for liquid darkstone. Okay, we'll go to the campaign map and see where this mission has become available. And so we're going to make a d20 roll and we'll consult our mission location table. I'll bring that up on the screen and we'll see where this Caverns of Cinder mission, Hunt for Liquid Darkstone, is going to be available for us. The result is a 6, and that's going to be in Mount Laterra. So we'll place that at Mount Laterra, and then we can travel there in the future and possibly take on that mission. And finally, we'll move on to step 5, and that's the end of the day. We're going to check for town events, and we'll see if there will be a town event tonight in Stone's Crossing. We need to roll higher than a 1 to avoid a town event. Result is a 6, so we've got no problems. We'll advance the days since the last event to 2, and now it is step 6, and we're going to begin our descent into the mines beneath the town of Stone's Crossing. Examining our setup sheet for the special mission, The Well, it says, if the posse pieces together the mystery, they dig out the entrance to the cave and start the mission at a standard map tile entrance. If not, they would have entered through the well and they would begin the mission at a capped long passage. And there they would not be able to scavenge until they found a room. So we're going to have a standard setup for this mission, which is great. Our mission goal is going to be to find 2 clues and destroy the foul beasts living beneath the town of Stone's Crossing. And that's where we're headed next. And so, after a few hours of backbreaking work, Posse has managed to clear enough of the collapsed cave entrance to gain access to the tunnels that they know lie beneath the town of Stone's Crossing. I'll be using this hero status board to be able to display the current statistics for our characters, the amount of grit they have, any corruption. And we'll be using this initiative board to keep track of the turn order. And I think this is a good point where we're going to close out this video. And we're going to commence with their exploration of the cave system beneath the town of Stone's Crossing in our next episode. So thanks for tuning in to the Solo Gamers Club, and I hope you're enjoying this playthrough of Alone in the Shadows of Brimstone. Look forward to seeing you again next time as we investigate this first cave system. Thanks for watching, and have a nice evening.